Okay, y'all asked, and today I am answering for my biggest quilting fail to the tool I'd save if there were a sewing room fire. It's time for some cozy chaos and thread-filled tea to spill. Hey, 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 welcome back to Loose Threads and Stitches, the podcast where we don't mind if your points don't match as long as your heart is in it. I'm Kristen, your quilty BFF, and in today's episode, it's a tiny bit different. I asked for some questions and wow, did you deliver. We're going to do a roundtable style Q&A, just you and me. We're going to hang out, laugh, and probably I'm probably going to overshare a little bit today. Make sure that you are subscribed so you don't miss out on our weekly fabric-filled heart-to-heart chats. And if you're hearing all of the meowing in the background, that is this one's fault right here. Yes, so we have a kitty cat. His name is Merlin. He's very feisty, and he has a fascination with the toilet that I don't understand. So excuse like the jingling and the meowing in the background. If I don't watch him every single second of the day, he gets into trouble all the time. So, okay. Back to today's episode, and the first question that I got like right off the bat was, what's your most embarrassing quilting mistake? I mean, geez, y'all don't like hold back at all, and that's fine. I don't hold back at all either. I personally don't have any secrets from you in the quilting world. Like I'm happy to be an open book, okay? But one time I quilted an entire baby quilt, and I realized that several of the blocks were upside down. Like not just like directionally upside down, but like the overall design of the quilt did not work with those blocks upside down. And I realized it after I quilted it. So that is just let's call it a one-of-a-kind baby quilt. I did not go back and fix it, but I really, really was kind of destroyed a little bit. And the mom still lived it. The baby still like was fine on the quilt. It still performs perfectly. So yeah, that's probably my, like the one that comes to mind the most is that one that I did upside down. Another question is favorite fabric designer. Honestly, my favorite fabric designer kind of changes, but right now I am in like this love affair with Ruby Star Society fabric. Their colors are a party that I want to be invited to all the time. I also tend to really be obsessed with Figo fabrics, and when they come out with new lines, I really, really like their style as well. Do you pre-wash your fabric? Hot take here on this one. No, I like to live on the edge. No, really. I don't pre-wash my fabric. I could tell you it is because I like the crinkle after washing, and I like that it does, certain things with the fabric and the quilting. But honestly, I gave up on pre-washing from the very beginning because I don't like to do laundry, and I like ironing even less than I like to do laundry, which is a really, really low bar. Okay. So, I don't like doing that. And I find that, it's kind of one of those myths from like a long time ago when fabric dyes were a lot different and there was a much like greater chance of the really bold colors spreading throughout your quilt after they've been washed. Now I find that like the fabric dyes are a little bit better and we don't have to worry about that as much. It is still an issue with some fabrics, but I kind of work around that by not buying those like super, super deep fabrics. And I also use color catchers. If you are not a fan of color catchers, what are you even doing in the quilting world? Okay, there's other products that do the same thing as color catchers, but I always put those in with my wash, and I've never had like a big problem with it. Hand quilting or machine quilting? I love both of them. Hand quilting feels amazing on the quilt and it's very meditative to do, but for my usual let's get this done and over with mood, I do machine quilting all the way. And I also have a long arm machine, so you know, I like my long arm machine when I do my quilt because it can do much more accurate designs than I can do by hand. What's your favorite part of the quilting process? I love picking out the fabrics. I could lose hours in a quilt store going through and auditioning fabric for a quilt. I love pulling my own fabric combos together. I probably will never get tired of that. And even if it's like something that I will never ever use, I have a whole bunch of like groupings of fabric in my stash over here where I've got most of the fabric together that would make a pretty quilt, but it doesn't have a pattern yet. Right? It's just the fabrics that go really nicely together. And I love doing fabric dress up, quilt dress up, quilt play. I don't know what that's called, but it's very therapeutic to me. So that's always my favorite part, as well as that final binding stitch where I am like done. Right? Like that moment never gets old to me either. Least favorite part? Ooh, I would have to say basting. I hate basting, okay? It's hard. Like I have hardwood floors in my house and like my knees don't like the hardwood floor. And if somebody wants to like invent a no crawl basting system, like I've tried like the wall basting and stuff before. I do tend to like that sometimes, but I would just say basting is probably my least favorite part of the quilting process. What's one rule that you love to break? I love to challenge the fact that points have to match. Sometimes, yeah, they match, and sometimes they just kind of end up going their own way. And there are flaws in a lot of my quilts that I will not go back and take out. That's called quilting character in my book, okay? Another rule that I often like to challenge is that quilting has to be complicated and hard. The patterns that are the most epic and the most amazing have to be complicated and hard. And I don't believe that like at all. I believe there is a ton of different patterns out there that look complicated and look hard, but actually are very simple when you break it down into like the grid method and all that. And I'm going to do a video on that pretty soon where I can just show you quilt patterns, because I have a live video on this where I went through a magazine and I did quilt patterns. But I'll see if I can link to that down in the description box down below so you can check it out. But like the patterns don't have to be complicated. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of thinking and a little bit of knowledge behind how quilts work, and they're suddenly not as complicated as you thought they were. What's your go-to comfort project? I love sewing wonky stars. Okay, there is no rules to them, just pretty fabric and vibes. It's like therapy to me. And, you know, it's very forgiving. And I don't have to worry about those little bitty points coming together or like being absolutely perfect. It's just kind of like improv-ish, but with some rules. Yeah, that's what I like. Also, I like log cabins. Those are really fun to just start with and just go. Like no rules. Well, actually, there's a lot of rules in log cabins, but in terms of like scrappy look and stuff, I like sewing scrappy log cabins too. Have you ever cried over a quilt? Yeah, I have. The very first time that I finished a memorial quilt, a lot of emotions came out during the quilting and the binding process. And there are other memorial quilts that I simply cannot start on because I have not reached that point in like the healing process yet. So I would say, yeah, I definitely cried over a quilt. And, you know, it's still, that memorial quilt still really holds a very special place in my heart. What's one quilty thing you wish more people talked about? How freaking brave it is to make something physical with your hands and then share it. That is huge. Okay. And it deserves way more applause to actually try something, put yourself out there. And even if like you're not new to quilting, you've been doing it for a long time, when you go for like a more complicated pattern or something that you would have never tried before, or like you want to learn a new skill, like that's super brave and amazing. And I think that it should be appreciated more. And I think that it should be talked about more. The fact that like you are just a rock star and you're fearless when it comes to quilting. And even if you're not totally fearless and you're scared to death, it's okay to act like you're fearless and like put your mindset like I mean, it's fabric, it's thread. It's not going to like make the whole world fall apart, right? It's not going to make the whole world fall apart. So, just going out there, trying it, seeing what happens. And then, even when you like enter it into a show or something like that, that is a lot of gut and grit. And, I think that people see sewing and quilting as kind of like a more softer hobby, but, it's 110% hardcore, amazing, brave people that do this. So there were 10 questions. Okay. We're going to do like a rapid fire round here. No overthinking. I want you to give your 2 cents on these questions with me. Okay. So, just no overthinking it. Just the first thing that pops into your heads. Let's do this. I'm going to pause so you can answer, and then I will give my answer as well. Okay. First one is solids or prints. What do you prefer? I love a good print. I love a good print and design element personally. Okay, next one. Cutting or pressing? I already told you, I hate ironing. I hate ironing. Even though it's very satisfying, I will always choose cutting over pressing. If that's my only 2 options. If there's a third option, I will choose that one. But I will always choose cutting over pressing. All right, what is your favorite snack while quilting? Popcorn. Always popcorn. I love popcorn. That's my favorite snack. What is your quilting nemesis? Bobbin tangles or seam ripping? Bobbin tangles all the way, right? Like if you said seam ripping, I'm gonna have to like agree to disagree here, because bobbin tangles, like seam ripping is something I did. Bobbin tangles are something the machine did. Okay, next is describe your quilting style in 1 word. What's your 1 word? I'm pausing a little bit more because I'm thinking of my word too. That one's a little bit hard for 1 word. Like I would love to say joyful, because that's been like the thing that I've been working on this year, is really making sure that my creativity brings me joy. But it's a little bit of chaos too, right? And I think the word that I would probably land on for myself is just play. Yeah. I think my 1 word for quilting is just play. That was fun. I hope that you enjoyed that. You are officially my favorite kind of quilter. I love to have these chats with you. They're so fresh and freeing. And, if you love this cozy kind of chat with me and this chaos that we have in between each other that we share, and you want more behind the scenes bonus chats with me, make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you can follow this podcast, follow my channel on YouTube, and you can come join us inside the Stitch Sister Inner Circle. We talk about silly stuff and even like the deep soul stuff too in my quilting membership group. And you will absolutely love it, because you will be surrounded by other quilters who just get it. Okay. They just get what it is to be in love with fabric. They just get what it is to like get giddy over certain patterns and like the whole process. Okay. They just get it. And that's the most amazing part about it, is like nobody feels left out. And also it is the kindest, coolest group of quilters that I have ever. So for more information on that, you can check out this link right here, or you can look down in the description box for more information on how you can become a member. So whether you have been quilting for 5 minutes or you've been quilting for 50 years, just know your questions, your curiosity, and your creativity are always welcome here in my sewing room. All right. I loved doing this chat with you. Thank you so much for the idea and for all of the questions that y'all have contributed to this. This was fun. There was a whole lot more questions that I didn't get to tonight, but I will do another episode with these kind of rapid fire questions. If there's something that I didn't get to, go ahead and leave it down in the comments down below because I would love to answer your questions. So maybe we can make it a regular thing. Yeah. And maybe next time I will spill the beans on my stash hoarding secrets. Maybe. Maybe. Or how many rotary blades that I've broken in 1 month when I had way too much frustration with the quilting project. Spoiler alert. It was too many. Thank you so much for listening to Loose Threads and Stitches. If you giggled, nodded along, share this with a friend in your quilty crew. And please make sure you leave a comment down below. It helps more stitchy people find this little community that we have. Next week, we're going to tackle something entirely new. So make sure you stay tuned and check out the other videos on my channel. I would appreciate the views. Take a deep breath, go pet some of your pretty fabric, and I will see you next week. Same time, same place. I'm Kristen with IcyStarsQuilting.com. Have a great week. Bye.